always winter, but never Christmas. That was the complaint of the Narnians. It was the curse that the Wicked Witch had put upon them. But why was that the complaint? Never Christmas. It's because Christmas marks the end, or the beginning of the end of winter. And of course, if we always have winter, if we always have snow, well, that's death, isn't it? There's nothing can grow, and what we need then is we need spring. And Christmas marks that time where the days begin to get longer, the sun gets to shine again, and spring's on its way. And so the complaint of it never Christmas is it's never going to be spring again, this perpetual winter. And we can enjoy the winter, we can enjoy this, but we can enjoy it because we know that spring is coming. Could you imagine if we never knew that spring was going to come again? It would always be cold, it would always be snow like this. There's never going to be spring. That's what the Narnians were complaining about. That was the curse upon the Narnians. But Aslan was going to come. See, there was a prophecy given to the Narnians about the coming of a king. And it says this: wrong will be right when Aslan comes in sight. At the sound of his roar, sorrows will be no more. When he bares his teeth, winter meets its death. And when he shakes his mane, we shall have spring again. So Aslan comes, he dies, and he comes back to life again. And then through that, we have the spring. And before that even, they could see the spring was beginning to come, the snow was beginning to thaw. But the coming of Aslan, of course, would then be the beginning of spring on its way. And of course, by the time we get to the end of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, spring is fully there. And all of this is, of course, a picture of our world. And our curse is a curse of sin and suffering and death. Always winter, never Christmas means always sin, always suffering, and never release from these things. But we know that Jesus came, and he lived this perfect life, and he died, and he rose again. Jesus is the eternal spring, and trusting in him brings spring into our hearts. And we also know that when Jesus comes again, it'll be forever spring. There'll be no more winter, no more death, no more sin and suffering. And Isaac Watts, he wrote this beautiful hymn, Joy to the World, talking about how Jesus is going to come and the curse will be no more. No more let sins and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow, far as the curse is found. So, although there's snow right now, we know that that's going to end soon. It's going to be spring. It's coming. And you might be suffering. You might be a Christian who's struggling in sin or struggling in suffering. But you can have hope that one day the winter of sin and suffering will be no more. Jesus is coming. That's the blessed hope of every believer.